This episode of Star Wars Republic is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Republic. This is our Chapter 4, The Gathering Storm for the Book of Boba Fett reaction video here on Patreon at patreon.com/thearena_podcast. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burlyman Gaming. How you doing, Burly?
I'm doing good, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a caged animal because it's it's minus 15 out there, and you may hear the wind howl at times. So with the wind, with the wind chill, it's a lot colder. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going outside.
Yeah. So at this point in time, I'm sure you wish you lived on Tatooine for like a couple of days, right?
You give us Tatooine's weather for one day.
Yeah,
we're gonna have so much water everywhere.
Right.
All that snow melting. It's gonna make Kevin Costner's Waterworld look like there was a lot of land.
Yeah. So chapter 4, Burly, The Gathering Storm. Now, I really love this episode again. I mean, most of the episode was just another flashback and how he gets together. Before I say anything else, before I move forward here, just want to let all of you viewers know that, of course, this is a spoiler reaction show. So all of what we're going to be talking about are spoilers. So if you have not watched the chapter 4 episode yet, please stop now, go and watch the episode, and then come back and watch our video, because it's all going to be spoiler reactions. Okay. So with that said, I mean, just another flashback episode. I mean, the majority of it. I mean, and how he gets to find Fennec. So it's kind of like how it left off in The Mandalorian season 2, where, he finds Fennec, and we find out in The Mandalorian that Boba Fett is still alive. It's like you see those boots and everything walk up. It's like most people speculated that was probably Boba Fett. But yeah, we get to see what really happens at the beginning there when he finds her and all. But before we go on, overall, what did you think of this episode, Burly? This chapter?
I really enjoyed this.
Yes.
This was just a great time watching. Like I watched a little bit. Thankfully, no. If anyone was from work is listening, don't worry. I did get the thing done while I was watching it. So yeah, no, I really did enjoy watching this. Yeah. Another great episode, and it's keeping me hooked. The show, waiting week for week. This is one of those things where I kind of love and hate an episode. You got to wait each week an episode to get released.
Right. So obviously the episode starts, he's in the BAFTA tank again. Obviously. I mean, it's like that's every single night he's in the BAFTA tank. But, in this chapter, he's now fully healed from what the droid says to him, as he gets out of the BAFTA tank later. But yeah, but of course, some internal parts of him are still, healing or whatever. But he's in the BAFTA tank, and then he goes back, another flashback, and he's on the ridge there close to Jabba's palace again, and he's taking a look, at all the guards and everything, because he wants to get his ship back, because he knows it's at Jabba's palace. So he wants to get that ship back, but he knows that he can't take on all of those guards by himself. And then that's when we see him leaving the area, and then he finds Fennec, right?
Right. And when he finds Fennec, he doesn't find her in the greatest state. She is injured.
Yeah.
But instead, and because we were always speculating, how did these two meet? Because I think that you got like a small bit of dialogue in Mandalorian season 2, but I cannot remember.
Yeah.
But so he finds her. She's pretty much she's dying.
Yeah.
So he takes her to a little town. I
Like
love
close to
that where
Mos
he just
Eisley. Yeah.
like close to Mos Eisley, goes into this den to get her fixed. And I
Yeah.
love the doctor's like
Yeah.
not right away until he's like
Yeah.
throws the
Make an
units down.
appointment. Yeah. Make an
Yeah,
appointment. Yeah.
and then
And then he throws the credits there, and he's like, "You should have did that in the beginning."
you should have led with that. Yeah,
Yeah, you should have led with that. Yeah.
it
So
just
she
shows
gets,
you in this
yeah,
world, you throw money and people are like, What do you want me to do? You want me to kill my mama? Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing I love about this series is we're learning so much about Tatooine that we never knew of
Mhm.
before, that we never knew about, and that's the cool thing about what's going on. Yeah, Tatooine. It's a harsh environment. There's lots of monsters that could kill you any day. And most of the cities like Mos Eisley or Mos Espa, there's the pestilence and the scum of the earth that's roaming the cities. But that's the cool thing about this series. I'm really enjoying it so far for that aspect of it. But so she gets fixed up, and then of course they get to know each other a little bit. She thought he was dead, obviously, like most people did. But so he talks her into, hey, I need to get my ship back, and so come with me and you help me with that, and then we're done, you know, and so yeah, they go to Jabba's palace and yeah, go in from the backside, and it was funny, kind of in the kitchen, that one kitchen scene. What was that little robot that looked like a rabbit?
Oh yeah. Well, but one of the things I love is when they're scoping out Jabba because before we get there, after he saved her and he's trying to just talk, and she's like, so you're just gonna keep me alive because I'm better, a lot worth alive more than I'm dead. It's like, yeah, but he's like, that's not it. I need help getting my ship.
Right.
That's what I want. And she's like, okay, I help you with that. My debt's paid. She says, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they slowly learn about each other. But then when they're scoping out Jabba's palace,
Yeah,
she
with that
sends out
little
for the
little ball scope thing. Yeah, that
so
was pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
the little droid. And I love when it comes back to them because they
Uh-huh.
see and you get the little map.
Right.
It looks straight like a little old like NES Metroid map.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
The way it looks, so it
Yeah.
was kind of
Yeah.
just like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Right,
And
right.
then
Yeah.
so then they do their stealth into Jabba's palace,
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
get through the kitchen and all that. The little robots, I love the one robot's like, no, you're going to check. I'm going to call the exterminator because it could be a rat.
Right. Right. And then of course some of those Gamorrean guards came
Mhm.
down there and they got taken out pretty
Mhm.
easily. So yeah. But
Yeah.
they get yeah, it's funny how, they get to the hangar and then it's like, Boba gets into the ship. But then it's like there's no way to open up the front gates, right? And so he's like trying to fly the ship and maneuver it while Finnick is, working on taking out these guards. And it's like part of the ship is like just careening against the walls and everything and just cracking the wall doors open and
Mhm.
everything. That was pretty funny. you know.
Mhm.
It's like how are we going to get out of here, But finally they were able to make it out of there. Uh yeah. And then of course, he's saying your debt's, the debt's paid and all, where do you want me to drop you off? And then Finnick is like, where are you going? And he's like, I have some scores to settle. And then she's like, I think I'll go for the ride. Yeah. And it's like, you knew where he was going first.
Mhm.
You knew where he was going.
Yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. And let's get into that. I mean, it's like we got the biker gang, on the cycles, the speeders, and this was the gang that supposedly wiped out his, Tusken Raider tribe, and oh, just the cinematography, Burley, in this one
Oh
scene. As
yeah.
you're watching the speeders on the ground there, you look at the sky and then this little dot starts to come from the clouds, and then it gets bigger and bigger as it's coming closer and closer, and right up on the rear, and then you start hearing that music, the dun 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 dun, dun and then the just taking them out and wiping them out, man. Just completely freaking wiped them out.
Yeah, they should have learned you not to mess with the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, and not to mess
Because
with Boba Fett.
Boba
Yeah,
Fett, but Boba Fett was part of them, so it was like I was dumb on their part. Should have
yeah,
killed you. You guys should have killed him when you guys had chances. You guys had
yeah,
chances. You should have done it. Now he came back and repaid what you did. So it was
right.
just awesome. Him just mowing him down. It was like it was nice to see him get get some revenge for his people, get some
Oh yeah,
vengeance back.
yeah, yeah. And then I think what was one of the dumbest parts of the episode on Boba's part. Obviously, he still
Mm-hmm.
thought, of course, his armor was inside of the Sarlacc pit. So they go back to the Sarlacc pit, right? And of course, obviously, we know that from the first chapter, of course, when we see him, get his way out of the Sarlacc pit, of course, the Jawas had taken the armor away and everything, but he didn't know that. Obviously, he was, close to
No.
death, so laying out there in the sand. But he thinks it's in the Sarlacc pit, and so he flies the thing like face first right into the mouth of the Sarlacc pit, because he probably thought that when he exited the Sarlacc pit with that flamethrower thing, he must have killed it. That's probably what he was thinking. And so there's like no danger of flying that thing right up to the face, right up to the mouth of the pit, And so then they start looking down in there, and it's like, I can't see a damn thing, And so they put the lights on. You can see some of those, the people that had been, who knows how many years they had been in there, and of course being digested and all the acid and everything, you can see some of them down there. Then you see this little white orb thing down there, and then all of a sudden, it just comes up, that was the kind of the jump scare moment of the chapter, don't you think?
Oh yeah, this was so dumb on his part. This was like,
You're like, what the fuck are
it's,
you thinking, man? Yeah, it's like, yeah,
oh yeah, it's like why you never go near this thing. Like
yeah,
I know he wants his armor
yeah,
and really wants it back, but like it was, ugh,
right.
come on, man.
But
And then
then the moment, I mean, the best moment of the whole chapter, the seismic charge. It's like she's able to climb up. She has to take her belt off, and she climbs up and she pushes that button, and there goes that seismic charge, like from back in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, when Django is you know out there with Obi-Wan in space. Those seismic charges. And then it's like the Sarlacc swallows it, and then just boom. That seismic charge sound. You know. And then the barge from like Jabba's barge from like in Return of the Jedi, it starts to sink more and more into the sand there because of the seismic charge. But now we know that the Sarlacc is dead. I mean, that seismic charge took it out, right? Yeah.
yeah, well, you never know, but I don't think we're gonna go back to this Sarlacc.
No, no,
I
I think we're
honestly
done.
don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
Yeah, but I think it's dead though now, because of course, after that they got out of the ship and he actually crawls down there again looking for his armor. I mean, it just shows you the dedication he has to his father's armor. He has to have that armor back. It's a part of him. It's a part of himself. So, yeah, I mean, he climbs down there and he gets all the acid and everything all over his covers, as he climbs out and everything. And then like Finnick tells him, "You really need to get a BAFTA tank." So, yeah, uh, that was my favorite part of the whole episode. But I love the part earlier, right when they dropped the seismic charge and they were able to get out. Then Boba's like says to her, "Never touch my buttons again." So
Yeah,
yeah, That was pretty funny. Yeah. So,
And you could see that them starting to form the dynamic that they have.
right. Right.
And then after this, we get the whole thing of them talking, and because she's like, "So what's your plan?" He's like, "Well, I want to." She's like, "Have you ever thought of all the time we've wasted working for these people and almost getting ourselves killed because they're idiots?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, and he's like, "What if we had someone that was in charge that wasn't an idiot, that we all could make money, we didn't have to risk our lives all the freaking time?" So you can
Right.
see this is what he wants to do, and she's at first a little kind of apprehensive. She's like, "Yeah, I'll just work for you every once in a while. I'll
Right.
do some work for you, help you out."
Right. Right.
But then there's more
Yeah.
as we go
Then
through the episode, more lenient towards it, obviously.
yeah, yeah. Of course, he goes back to the present day. He gets out of the BAFTA tank and all, and then he goes back to the Oasis, I think it's called. And guess who is sitting in the Oasis having a few brewskis there
Yeah,
and
the
wanting to
good
get
old
into some trouble? Yeah,
the good old Wookiee, and he's seeing
Chrysanthemum. Yeah,
yeah, Chrysanthemum. I couldn't remember the name. Chrysanthemum's seeing some of the people, a race of people that had put him in the fights and
right, right.
all that, and he's seeing them spending money and gambling and having fun, and he's just like takes a sip of the drink. You could hear the shock from his little
Yeah, he was
his
pissed
glove.
off. Yeah,
He was like, "Fuck this," and he just wrecks and beats the shit out of him. And I love near the end of that fight scene is you
yeah,
got the one that throws like a, I forget what they throw at him, like a cup or something, and you
uh-huh.
could just see it doesn't affect the chrysanthemum at all, and then you can
Yeah,
see on the character's eyes is like, he's about to rip me in half. I'm
yeah,
dead.
yeah, yeah,
And then Jennifer Beals character, because I can't remember her
yeah.
name in the show, she comes out. She's like, if you stop now, I'll clear your bar tab. And she's like, yeah, I understand you're pissed with these people for what they did, but they're no longer like this and that. And he's just like, "Rrr," and just starts to walk. And Boba's just had come in here, and he's just sitting back and watching. I was wondering if he was going to stop in. I thought he would have just going to stop and go to him and be like, hey, no, I
Yeah,
understand,
yeah,
but I am the daimyo here. We kind of can't have this, bud.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, as he's leaving, of course, Boba follows him outside, and he's like, "Hey, mate, looks like you need a job." And it's like we were mentioning this in the last episode. We're
Mhm.
like, at some point they're gonna hook up.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be like working together or whatever. So anyway, then as we go on in the chapter, he invites the other crime bosses to Jabba's palace. Jabba's old, but now it's Boba's palace. We should just refer
Mhm.
to it as Boba's palace now. And
Yep.
it's funny where he positioned the dining table. You know, I mean, he's like it's right on top of the pit there. And yeah, so and it's like when they were talking to him about why don't we just kill you here and now, it's like then his you know you see the claw boom come up there and it's like he's hungry, so
And Boba
yeah,
just feeds him is like sit, because Boba's trying to get them to unite and be like, here,
right,
listen, we are all in a Jabba. You all made money, all good. And
yeah,
then when Jabba's lackey took over,
yeah, yeah,
you guys weren't making money. There were
yeah,
problems. I've taken
yeah,
over,
yeah, Bib
but we've got
Fortuna, yeah, yeah, so
yeah. We got Pike, and now we got Pike here.
yeah,
We all There's going to be some bloodbath. We all work together, and I love the one guy stands up. Is like, or should I just help you? They're not after you. They're not after us. They're after
yeah,
you. Just
yeah,
let them kill you, or you kill them.
yeah,
And then Boba's like, fine. You know what? You stay neutral. If Pike
right,
comes to you, you don't give them shit. You stay out of it. I'll clean up Pike, and then you'll remember I did
right,
this
that's right,
without
yeah,
your help. And then we'll have another conversation. and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
all accepting. And then Fennec is like, him and his Fennec had that little conversation. She's like, yeah, them turning traitor right now is not exactly the best at their interest because they know Pike will
right.
come for them eventually. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I just love the scene when the rancor, his claw comes out of the pit there, and that really shook them up a lot too. And he's like, he's hungry, and he like gives him one of the bones and stuff, and
oh yeah, I
so
love it because he's just so casual with it because he
oh
spent the
yeah,
time. But as you see in these episodes, he does care for creatures. Like
yeah,
in the
that's a cool thing about it. Yeah, yeah.
early in the episode, he lets his the thing he's been writing. He
The
sets it
Mantha,
free and
yeah,
said,
the Mantha, yeah,
well, like he was feeding it at the fire before he freed Finnick, helped Finnick, and
yeah.
when he was
He's
going
like,
to get
"Go
a
on,
ship,
girl,
he set it
go
free.
on, girl, yeah, go make some
Mhm.
other Manthas." Yeah,
Yeah,
It's like,
like
yeah,
it shows you he has a different side to him, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
he honestly prefers beasts compared to people.
yeah, yeah.
And then
So
after this whole dinner thing, because Finnick and them, because they're preparing for war, and him and Finnick are talking, and he's like, I need soldiers.
yeah. I
I
need
need bodies.
muscle.
And
Yeah, I need
I need
muscle. Yeah,
muscle. And she's like, well, we have coin. You can just buy muscle.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you can see on his face, he's a little apropos. Like
yeah,
he just doesn't want to. He wants people that are loyal to him. Like
yeah.
he helped the cyborgs out.
Right.
They're willing to help him. He freed the Wookiee at least. Crusade did. So he wants to stay with them. And the Gamorreans, they were just loyal. So
Yeah,
they're sticking with it. So he wants people that he'll know will be loyal because he doesn't want to go to some army. You pay them 1,000 one week, but your
right.
enemy pays them 1,500 the next week. So they're just going to turn on you because
But
they
did you
got the
catch?
higher.
Right, right. But did you catch at the very end there though, Burley, when she's saying, if you look in the right places, and then that music,
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Yeah.
Mandalorian. So
Lorian, I was going to say.
yeah, he's coming. I mean, it's either going to be. I think there's 7 chapters altogether. This is chapter 4. I think he's going to show up probably towards the end, and he's going to come
I,
help Boba Fett out, maybe him and maybe some of the other Mandalorians. Yeah, we shall see. Yeah,
I thought this was 6 chapter. Oh no, you're all right. It is 7.
7.
For some reason, I thought this was 6.
Yeah,
Oh,
but yeah, as soon as I heard that, that
yeah.
it's like, up, he's coming. You know, Jin Djarin, he's coming. And whether he's got Bo-Katan with him or some of the others, probably not Bo-Katan because obviously she wants the dark saber, and that's for Mandalorian season 3, obviously. But maybe he found some of those other Mandalorians that are on his
Mhm.
side, and he might come and help Boba because Boba and Fennec helped the
Mhm.
Mandalorian get Grogu back.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we shall see. But yeah, exciting stuff. And yeah, I really love this chapter. I mean, I can see how some people are like they're saying, oh, Tatooine's a boring place and all. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's interesting in many other ways. I mean, like I said before, you have the scum of the earth walking on the streets there, and that's what makes it exciting. It's like you can get into like a Wookiee can get into a fight in a bar at any time.
Yeah.
So
No.
those are the cool things about the chapters that I really enjoy. So, and learning so much about the planet, and the cultures of the people that live on that planet. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Tatooine can be boring, but it's the characters that are in it that make it interesting in the world, and you get so much more like you get so much more sides with Boba. Like I said before, Boba Fett 5 episode 5 and 6, you got nothing for this guy's character.
Right. We
You
knew
maybe
nothing
had
about him, basically. Yeah.
you maybe had 10 lines of dialogue between two
Right.
movies. I
Right.
never got why this character is so beloved and all that. Like I know they had did stuff in the 80s with like Star Wars cartoons with him,
Yeah.
but I never got it, but this show I'm loving it because you see he cares for creatures. You can see when the rage turns on into that face, when
Right.
he's just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now.
Right. Right. Yeah, there's a humane side of him, but then there's that mean streak too. When he's in a fight, I mean, he's gonna kill you. So and that's the thing. I mean, he's a former bounty hunter, so he knows his trade, but I mean, he's kind of past that now. I mean, he wants a different path, so and he's on that now. So all right, Burley. So I think that's going to do it for chapter 4. So we will be back next week for chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. So this has been Star Wars Republic, our everything about Star Wars series that we do here on Patreon at patreon.com/thearena_podcast, which goes up in early access for the first 2 days, and then it goes public to our YouTube at The Arena Productions. So I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burlyman Gaming. We hope to catch you in the next episode, which we will be doing next week for Chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
The Sith were right.